Hello friends, my name is Dain Miller.
And I am Niall Spain, and we are your fuck buddies.
I'm going to get right into it. I said this off the air and I just can't stop thinking about it. Do you think there's a porn named Assassin's Creed?
I think I made that joke.
I hate you so much.
I hope so.
And it's not a joke. I'm worried. I'm worried that someone isn't capitalizing on this. I'm worried that there's someone out there, there's some porn writer out there who's like just having a nervous breakdown because he can't think of like the best name and he's not using Assassin's Creed.
I'm just going to go out and assume it's already been done.
I assume so as well.
I kind of want to look it up, but also that's just how you spell assassin anyway.
Yeah, no.
Maybe that's why we've never heard it. It was like perfect, but it was too perfect.
I mean, I haven't played the last like 2 or 3 Assassin's Creed games, so for all I know,
they are the porn parodies.
The most recent ones are just like anal sex games.
Well, you know what, Dain? I'm glad you brought this up because speaking of asses and death, did you hear the newest developments this week?
No.
So remember when we broke the news to the world that you can spread coronavirus through fecal matter?
Yep.
Well, guess what?
Uh-oh.
Last Friday, Dr. Norman Swan made a cautionary suggestion when it comes to particles of feces set adrift within a fart and the spread of COVID-19. No bare bottom farting, Swan advised.
Damn.
Yeah, he's saying, luckily we wear a mask, which covers our farts all the time, he said, referring to protective aspects of pants, shorts, dresses, underwear, and other garments. However, farting with a bare bottom and or going into a toilet where somebody has recently defecated badly, you could be at risk to get coronavirus.
I love the qualification of badly.
Yeah. That was my wording, but
okay.
Basically, you know, if you want his wording, he says he suggested a post-flush toilet plume could even be cause for concern when it comes to spreading coronavirus via aerosolized feces.
Damn.
So we've now discovered the worst way to get coronavirus.
We can't even poop in peace now.
Well, you can, just no farts.
Well,
don't fart when you poop. Don't let a single bit of air. Just the driest, most quiet poop.
Like a flush is enough to.
I know.
To shoot out. God damn.
Isn't that like? I'm pretty sure all of this is like hypothetical because no one's actually doing these studies because like. There's more important things, which I don't agree with. This is the most important thing.
I was going to say, is there?
So they say, but they are Australian, so what would they know?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, this guy's, yeah, okay. If it's Australian, well, yeah.
But you know what? There's probably
how they do
someone out
there
who's gotten this from a fart, and that's sad.
Fuck, man, I hope he never finds out. I hope they never find out.
Actually, you know what? Cut all this. We don't need someone... Like, they've just recovered, and then they have to find out they got it from a fart. We don't.
Alternatively, I don't know, if I got corona, like, maybe it'd be funny. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I need that little bit of humor of being
maybe, like, it's already so bad that, like, it can't be worse, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, it can get worse.
Yeah.
Well, this took a terrible turn. I just wanted to make a joke about Assassin's Creed sounding like a porn.
I'm sorry I had to let the people know.
Oh, hey, we're a dating and sex advice podcast where we
shit.
take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Where basically, what it means in practical terms, we get questions either from our dear listeners or off Reddit. And we bring them to you. We disseminate the topic. And we just spew aerosolized advice all over your nose.
Depending on the question, maybe we'll inseminate it.
Yeah, we did once get a question pregnant.
Yeah, we did. Man, it's fucking bleeding me dry. Those child support payments? Fuck me.
How do you want to start this? Do you want to start like easy? You want to
well, you've already said that people are dying from farts, so
I said possible.
I'm gonna let you. You've already set the tone. You keep it.
All right, I got the perfect follow up. Right, this is by chirping. I'm going to need a little Dain input here, right?
Okay.
Dain participation, shall we say. You're going to have to make a guess after the title.
Okay.
Okay. So my 21-year-old female boyfriend, 22-year-old male, wants me to choose between him and my life passion.
Okay.
What's
the life passion?
You get 3
Can
guesses.
you give can you give me any hints?
I will give you a hint after your first guess.
Okay. Life passion of uh cosplaying.
No, but you could cosplay as one of these things.
Anime?
No, but it does start. It is something that is. It's an animal.
Her life passion is an animal. She could be a furry. A cat?
That's just wishful thinking because that's you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this question is not about you. No, it is frogs. I have a second question for you, Dane.
Uh-huh.
How many frogs are too many frogs?
Oh boy. I mean, I don't know if frogs are social animals, so I'd say two. Two to
Okay.
keep each other buddies.
All right, that's cool. So I discovered that I really love frogs, and 2 years ago I started bringing them home and rescuing them. Now I have about 14 frogs, and I've raised them as if they were my own children. They
I'm
help
sorry,
me.
rescuing them? I'm pretty sure you're kidnapping them.
She rescuing them from their dreary life in their favorite habitat.
Yeah.
They helped me decide to be a biologist. I'm currently in college pursuing that dream. They've helped me cope with the loss of most of my friendships and a really bad phase of depression. As even though I didn't want to take care of myself, I still took care of them. At times, it felt like the only reason I was still there was to nurture them and give them comfortable homes. About 6 months ago, I met my boyfriend, and we immediately hit it off, and we hang out every day. He's expressed to me he's not a huge fan of animals, and I never really press him on it. Well, he's decided he wants to go somewhere else for grad school and has invited me to go with him and live with him, under one condition. I have to rehome all but 3 of my frogs. I'm heartbroken because I don't want to feel like I have to choose between the 2 most important things in my life. I'm frustrated and feel like it's unfair of him to make me rehome all of them. I've tried to make compromises, offering to rehome half, or even pay extra with us so we can have an extra bedroom for my frogs and he wouldn't have to see or interact with them. He says he doesn't like them because they're ugly, which to me is outrageous for him to be so dismissive
Dang.
of something I'm so passionate about. I'm not sure what I should do, if I should break up with him and not go, or maybe do I have too many frogs and I should rehome some? Please help.
I need to know information. So here's the thing. It's like I want to know what the frog situation is. Is her entire house like? Do you actually need a whole room for all your frogs, or is it like do you have 2 aquariums filled with frogs? Because like if that's the situation, fuck it. Who cares?
I'm imagining like frogs are
Like this.
big enough, right? I imagine like at most, similar to your guess, you could probably only get two frogs in a tank, right? So
Well, I don't know, man. I had frogs in one of our science class, and we had like 8 little baby frogs,
oh, it's true.
and like I don't know,
Okay,
like a 2 foot by 1 foot tank, and they weren't cramped. They had all the room in the world to jump around. So
so
like, unless this
apparently,
person's rocking like massive frogs,
apparently, if you have African dwarf frogs, you can only fit 4 to 5 in a 10-gallon tank. So at the very
okay,
least, that's 30 gallons of tankage, and that's not even taking into account if they are not dwarf frogs.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
um,
like,
yeah.
so that
Here's the
that's
thing: is I know. Look, there are troubling things on Frog Larry's side. You know what I mean? The fact that you raise them as your own kid,
yeah.
that's troubling because like I love my cats,
Hmm.
but I don't treat them like they're not my children.
Yeah.
I love them, as much as I could love, more or less anything. But
Hmm.
like I know they're not like children.
Yeah, because that's kind of a wild thing to think about most things that, in fact, unless it's your adopted children, there's really no other way there's no like real way to say, yeah, I love them like they were my own children. You know?
Yeah.
'Cause you're not. Or if you are,
Um,
that's weird.
but here's the flip side of this. I've never met a person who's like, I don't like animals. I don't really like animals because he doesn't say
Hmm.
he doesn't like frogs.
Hmm.
He says he doesn't like animals.
Yeah,
And
that
you know who doesn't like animals?
serial killers.
Serial killers.
Exactly. So that's the thing, right? Like that sentence alone, it's like, you know what, fuck this dude. I do love like how he came up with the number 3 frogs. Like, does he just hate 11 of her frogs? Is that what has really
Yeah.
happened here?
He's like, you
Also,
three are chill as hell.
yeah.
The rest of you, though, you're ugly as hell.
Or is he just like he knows there's no way to have a no frog lifestyle and 3 is the most you could handle? One of my big questions is She says, they helped me cope with the loss of most of my friendships. Did the frogs just cause most of your friends to leave? Like, is she real into frogs? Like, did she start like ribbiting and croaking? Because like there seems to be a bit of causation there. I don't know. How did you
Yeah, I
lose
would like to
most of
know
your
if
friendships in 2 years?
is it maybe it could be one of those things where it's like like she moved to go to school, and that's what she means. Like she didn't have any friends. Like all of her friends kind of disappeared that way.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. It like I would also like to know if her passion for frogs is what caused the loss of friendship. Because then
Mhm.
I would say it's like, hey, they're not coping mechanisms. They're the cause.
Yeah. But also,
Um,
it does say they're literally the one thing that kept her alive. So also, maybe don't deprive this girl of her frogs.
well, it's super common for people who suffer from mental illness and depression to rely on their animals.
Mhm.
It's like a really really common thing, and it's not a toxic thing. It's actually like
No,
a
I
pretty
get
good
it.
thing
Like,
to be like,
animals
oh,
are the
this thing
best.
this thing needs me to live.
Mhm.
And if that's the only thing getting you up and through the day, then fucking that's great. Like at that point, anything that helps you realize that you have worth and that someone out there needs you
Mhm.
is worth it. So I'm not gonna throw shade at her frog requirements at all. Um,
If
I
we're
I
if we're getting rid of jokes, I think fuck this dude.
yeah
You've been together what 6 months, and he wants you to one move and two get rid of most of your animals because he thinks they're ugly. Like fuck that. I'm sorry. This guy has no leg to stand on.
Yeah, it's like I can understand maybe like moving into a place and being like, "Look, we don't have the space." Like if I was moving in with Amanda
Mhm.
into an apartment together and she was like, "I've got 19 cats." I'd be like, "Well, we don't have the space for 19 cats."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like I understand if that was the point of view, but if his thing is just like, "I hate these fucking frogs. They're ugly as hell, and I don't want to look at them."
yeah.
It's like, "Well, that's not a reason."
No,
You know what I mean? Like because if this was anything other than frogs, if this was a dog, you know what I
mhm.
mean? If she had 3 dogs
Yeah, no
and
one
he was
would.
like, everyone would be like, "This guy's insane. No one wants to get rid of the dog." You know what I mean? But
Mhm,
because they're slightly, wacky animal,
mhm. What if it was 14 dogs though?
my thing is if you have the space and the ability to care for all the animals that you have
Mhm.
and none of them are living a life in detriment because of it, then there's no such thing as too many animals.
Yeah.
But I know people who 2 cats is too much.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's the
Because
thing, right?
because
It's
they
like
don't take care of them.
yeah.
I know people who 1 dog is too much because
Oh
they
yeah,
don't take
because
care
they're
of it.
yeah. And also
I've
like
gone
condos
I've
are
gone to people's
small,
houses. Yeah,
right?
like
It's
I've gone
like
to people's houses and seen the litter box filled, and I'm like, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I do it once a week." Like that is crazy. That's not how you take care of a cat.
yeah. Now, how about flip side of this? What if because I refuse to believe someone doesn't like animals and also will just be like they're ugly. What if he's actually the real frog savior and he's trying to liberate these frogs that have been stolen from their homes? Because like realistically, she's like gotta keep them comfortable, gotta whatever. Like unless she does have these large habitats, she's nipped them from their homes.
Yeah, and families. That's
Exactly.
that's
I
another
doubt they're
thing. It's like,
injured. Maybe
yes,
he has infiltrated this place. Oh my god, what if he was one of those frogs that got turned into a prince and now he's like looking out for his frog bros?
oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
like reverse Frog Prince.
yeah, I'm trademarking all of this. And he just seduces crazy frog people and tries to save their frogs. Oh my god. This is a Hallmark movie in the making.
How much does your boyfriend say?
Yeah.
Does he
What does he eat?
How does he eat? Is it
Mm-hmm.
mostly tongues?
Yeah, are his lickouts buck wild? Can he get you from across the room on a moment's notice, just right in the clit? Yum yum yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah. I honestly, I say fuck this dude. It's too early in the relationship for someone to be making demands like this, if it's ever applicable. You know what I mean? You love
Yeah,
these
I mean,
frogs, and unless, like, maybe take a look at yourself and make sure it's not literally like one taking over your life or two taking over your living space, because 14 could be a lot of frogs. She does ask at the very end, which I forgot to read out: is 14 frogs too many?
yeah, and like I said, I don't think there is a set number of animals that is too many. It's how many you're capable of caring for. That and once you've reached the point where you can't care for all of them, properly, then it's too many.
That's very true.
Um,
Or yourself. Like if you're caring for all these frogs, but you don't have room left in your apartment for your life, probably too many
yes. If anyone is suffering because of the amount of
frogs you
animals that
have.
you have, I mean, to be fair, it's like it's that way about anything. Like if this woman was filling her house with shoes,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It'd be the same thing. Like, oh, you don't have any money to buy food because you've bought
Yeah,
shoes.
exactly.
It's any sort of like obsession.
Yeah.
I the only time I would say it would be okay to have a conversation about being like, hey, we gotta talk about like how many animals we have, and that is like if you're moving in together and you can't find a space to accommodate them all.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And that might just be one of those things where it's like, well, we just can't get a place together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if my living situation is good for the animals and the life that I have, maybe we just wait until we move in together. Yeah, but also I'd just be super wary of anyone who's like, I don't like animals.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never met someone like that, but I don't think I'd be able to be around them.
Here's a question that kind of ties into people respecting property.
Ooh.
This comes from Reddit user Apricot Tuesday. My girlfriend doesn't get why I care about my expensive laptop. How do I help her understand?
What?
It's a €3,000 laptop I use for work, heavy design stuff. I also play games on it. It's my entire life, and I worked immensely hard to afford it. She has a cheap laptop that she's seen more abuse than just about any tech I've ever come across. She uses my laptop and treats it like shit, touching the screen, etc. She doesn't get why I'm protective of it, nor does she get the value of it, which is strange considering how much it's worth.
Yeah, well, flat out, like, when it's that expensive, you can literally point at the price tag and be like, hey, look, it is worth this much. And secondly, it's like, if you need it for work and you game, and like, presumably that's a large part of your life, then it would be wild that this person can't understand that it encompasses a lot of your life and your money. So, like, I don't understand why no one could not see that.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if the thing was fucking $12,
Oh yeah, it
if
wouldn't matter
if you said it's like,
important to you.
hey, this is super important to me, please don't treat it like shit. Like, if Amanda had a favorite teapot,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, or something arbitrary that
Maybe
like
just
is,
a normal teapot, and you were just like
yeah.
fucking it around the room.
And
Like,
I was just like, you know, when I just kind of like hucked it into the sink every
yeah,
time.
yeah,
It was like it's disrespectful. If it's someone's property, even if it's not something that's like a family heirloom, or
yeah,
you know, if it belongs to someone, you
yeah.
treat it with respect.
Like if I had an old T-shirt I don't even wear, and like, my girlfriend just like cut it up to be like, oh, I want to like, I don't know, make a pattern, or like used it as a rag in the kitchen or something. It would be shitty because that's my property, right? It's my thing.
Yeah,
Like you would need to talk about this unless we were expressly like, hey, this is a piece of shit. Do whatever you want with it, you know?
yeah. Yeah, it's like
Um,
it's fine if that's how she treats her stuff. Cool. But like unless you're doing the same thing, like unless you've been like, "Oh, you treat your shit stuff like shit, so I'm going to treat it like shit." Because then that's a culture of like that's all she knows.
yeah.
But if you show her stuff respect and you show your stuff respect, then like it doesn't matter whether or not she understands the value of it,
Mhm.
whether it's sentimental or monetary.
Now, on the other hand, touching the screen, is that a capital crime?
Well,
You
I
know?
don't know. There are people who are weird about it because like you know how it goes all like wiggly.
I guess, yeah.
And people are worried that like you know if enough force is pressed it can sort of
Yeah, I
rupture.
guess it all depends how she does it and when she
Yeah,
does
if
it. Like,
she's
did you guys
fucking
just have
like
wings? And she's just like, bloop. Maybe she thinks it's a touchscreen, man. You know?
I would just sort of sit her down and be like, hey, this is really important to me and I don't appreciate you treating it like garbage, and you don't need to understand why it's important to me. All I'm asking is that you don't do these things.
That's the thing. Is like you shouldn't have to come up with a plan or like anything elaborate just to get basic respect. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like this shouldn't be a thing that you should even have to think about. It should be like, hey, like again, if she treats her shit that way and she treats it your thing, I'm sure it's not malicious. At least the first time, maybe she doesn't know any better. That's fine. But when you've told her, if she still refuses to give a shit about what you're saying, then she is not a good partner.
yeah.
Like you might
And
have
like
to touch her screen and throw her out.
you could be like, well, you can't use it anymore, but it's like
Yeah. But then
your
that's
relationship shouldn't be like a weird father-daughter sort of like
yeah,
I'm
you're
punishing you.
grounded.
You're on a timeout from my stuff. Like that's wild. That's
Also,
not
like the
how
kind
this works.
the kind of person that doesn't care when you tell them that isn't gonna take you not letting them use their shit well. You know, and then they're gonna
Yeah,
go out of
because
their way to use it, or like it's just the pettiness is gonna like just
yeah,
fucking exponentially grow because that is petty. It's like if someone's saying, "Hey, this is important to me," you're like, I don't get it. Why? Like you're kind of in peak pettiness, and it's only going to get worse from there. So if the conversation doesn't work, I don't know.
yeah,
Find what
yeah.
she
I mean,
loves
like,
and kill it.
it's such a weird thing to like suggest maybe considering ending a relationship for, but
Mm-hmm. Thing is, though, it's
it,
indicative of like this person as a whole. Like it's not
yeah,
it's not
and
just
there's
this thing.
yeah,
It's kind of a microcosm of your whole relationship. Like if she doesn't give enough of a shit that this very minor thing matters to her, you know what I mean?
yeah. It's like a fight waiting to happen. Like it's a bad fight waiting to happen because it's just a matter of time before she breaks it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna make her pay $3,000 for it? Because chances are she's not going to.
Yeah, like this, I don't know. It to me, like, yeah, little things like this, it might sound ridiculous to be like question your whole relationship, but it is indicative of like a general trend of it's just like caring and like respect and all that shit. It's like if she can't do anything for something like this, like what's to say, like, why should she then care for something bigger? And if she can only give out energy for big stuff, that's gonna suck on a day-to-day basis. Okay, are you ready for the next person we're dumping?
Mm-hmm.
This is by Shellfab. Would you tell your husband's female friend that something she did made you uncomfortable? My husband has a pretty decent social media following. In December, he started talking to a woman about their mutual interest. What is it, Dane?
I don't know.
Three,
Frogs
three guesses. Frogs is not one.
working out.
Close, running. They met in person at a running event in January, saw each other every day of that weekend. They posed for pictures, alone and with groups, and hung out often during the event. Next running event came, and he couldn't make it. She took one of his Instagram photos, made a cutout of him, and carried it with her through the event so he could be there. In his eyes, it is completely innocent. It was the most amazing thing someone has done for him. It is just the community being supportive. He made a long post about it with her picture holding him. This is actually quite embarrassing to me, as people I know have seen it and commented on the inappropriateness of it. I will say I tend towards insecurity and jealousy because of past incidents. This is something I'm working on. However, I know this is someone he plans on hanging out with in the future, considers a friend, etc. She's even made mention of us moving to her state. Should I tell her this particular incident made me uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think you should.
Really?
All right. Yeah, why not? I don't think there's any harm in it. Like, if are they friends? The two girls, two women.
It doesn't seem to be.
Okay. I don't think there is. I think one, have the conversation with your partner first.
Well, yeah.
I think be like, hey, it just feels a little, and like you don't have to necessarily be justified. I don't necessarily think she's in the right here,
Mm-hmm.
but if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then I don't think you have the right to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like you have the right to be like, hey, this has made me a little jealous, and here are the reasons why. Because if he doesn't know, and he's just going to keep, going on as if it's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Like hiding it and letting it fester isn't great because then the next time something happens, it's going to be a little bit worse, and then the next time, and eventually it'll be a blow up when like he might not even know anything's going on, kind of deal.
Yeah,
And
it's snowballing in your head, and it's plateaued on his.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like he doesn't think anything of it, and every time something happens, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger for you. So he's going to be like, "Where the fuck is this coming from?"
Yeah, it's
like,
going to be.
I'm sorry. So like the first three things you were cool with, but this one is your tipping point. And then if you're like, "No, it's always bothered me," it's like, well,
Why didn't
we've
you
talked
tell
about
tell me anything?
yeah, 1,000 times. It's like communication is the most important thing, and if you only communicate at the point where it's like unsavable,
Yeah.
then you fucked up. You're not communicating.
Yeah, I would say definitely talk to him. I don't think talking to the female friend should be a thing because, like, as far as like, I think I don't know. The only way I find this anyway bad is that they seem like pretty like newish friends, so it seems like a bit much for someone who's like a brand new friend to be like, oh, but also could just been like a little joke. You know what I mean? That got blown up and like he made a post about it to seem cool and like there's all these things I wouldn't be too upset about it, but like as a new friend, if the wife suddenly shows up and like is a little weird about things. Like maybe she's not going to feel comfortable being this person's friend. He could lose a friend without kind of like his input. And like, it could just be a really shitty situation where he's going to be like, that seems really petty and like bitter.
Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought they were all friends. Like I thought they were like the two women were friends.
No. So it looks like when he goes to his running groups or his running events is when like he meets this person.
Right. Okay.
Um,
I mean, yeah, it's like everyone knows. Like when I'm on set, I specifically make sure to like, talk about the people I was on set with. You know what I mean? So if I make a post about doing something on a set, and I worked with a DP or someone or an AD or whatever that I like, it's nice to make posts. You know what I mean? That's how you
mhm.
build like a community and foster relationships that way.
Yeah.
So
Also,
I don't
like
think it's
he didn't get to go to this thing. So like this one probably made him feel included, but two, like let him be included because then he could post and like I'm sure his other friends were at the race and like all these things. It's like a little way for him to tie himself in because I don't
yeah.
know why he couldn't go, but maybe he's embarrassed or feels that like I don't know what the running community is like, but maybe it's kind of like a faux pas, like oh this guy doesn't care or like whatever. So like it is kind of a nice thing for this person to do and a nice thing for him to share. I don't think it's inappropriate. It's a fucking picture.
Yeah. I mean it's a big step. Like making a cardboard cutout of a dude is a bit intense. But like again,
That's what
if it's a
I'm.
joke, it's a joke. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if it's lighthearted, it's lighthearted. Like it would be like if she got a picture of his face on a t-shirt or something, you know what I mean? It's like it's hard to toe the line of like, oh, this is you've gone too far, or like
Mhm.
this is you're bordering into like sexiness.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like with those faces on a t-shirt and cutouts, like they're meant to be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
are meant to be over the top always. So it's like, yeah, it's somewhat more reasonable when like you're very close friends with someone. But in general, the whole point is to be a little like fucking loony, you know? Like my so I was on holidays once, and one of my good friends who I also worked with, but we were friends before that. It was her birthday, her 18th or her 20th, and a bunch of people I work with made a cardboard cutout of me and put my face on it, and it was like life sized. And the whole picture, or the whole like story of pictures and everything that came up from this party was all the girls I worked with going over and doing all these like really like lewd things to this cardboard cutout, not because they wanted to do them to me, but because it's a cardboard cutout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you passed a piece of paper around, a lot of people would draw dicks on it. You know what I mean? So like, not even half the pictures were of guys doing it. You know what I mean? Um, and I'm sure it would be easy to be like, oh my god, why is that girl doing that thing with your, you know what I mean, your
Hmm.
cardboard cut? But like, it's just kind of like it didn't mean anything. It was just like a funny joke that, like, I think I made a joke about it, and everyone just like ran with it because, it's some people are the people that when they hear a joke like that, they're like, but what if I did it, And it was really funny, and like it made her party like really good. It let me feel like I was involved. It was great.
Yeah.
So like I'm all for doing these stupid things, and I'm all for how like it might seem bad, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure my girlfriend at the time probably didn't appreciate seeing those pictures because she was a very jealous person.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any harm in sitting down and talking to your partner. Express like how you felt. Don't do it accusatory. Don't try to like make it seem like she's trying to steal you away because it's probably not the case.
Hmm.
Just be like, hey, this situation made me uncomfortable. Here are the reasons why. And then maybe work together as a pair that you are because you're in a
Hmm.
relationship with him to figure out what like the grounds that you are comfortable with. And maybe he like hopefully at that point he would then have a conversation with his friend and be like, hey, you know, like if something he at least he's thinking of it, you know what I mean? So she might be a really hands-on touchy-feely person. So it would be like instead of taking a picture where she's hanging off him, which is again could be completely platonic,
Hmm.
he could readjust and be like, nah, let's do this instead.
Yeah. And like, yeah, you definitely like talk to him, and as you said, don't be accusatory, don't be like violent about it. I would definitely say come at it in a way where like you can be wrong, like allow yourself to know that you might be blowing it out of proportion or you might be overreacting, because most jealousy and insecurity is, you know what I mean? I say that as someone who's done it. um and like if you're able to like have that in the back of your mind, sometimes when you just talk to them and like voice your concerns, you'll feel better about it, and like hopefully he won't be shitty about it. But like I don't really think it warrants talking to her about it. Maybe become friends with her in your own terms, because I think that would probably help. You'll get to know them better, figure out whether you agree when you meet this person. Like maybe they're just like that. Maybe she'll have a picture of you next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say talking to her is too much until something way worse happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Always talk to your partner first.
Yeah, and I also think like you could foster a lot of like bitterness between you and your partner if like because that seems like you don't trust them, it paints them in a weird light, might make things awkward with his friend, all that shit. You don't want that.
Yeah, because ultimately she has no responsibility towards you, but he
Yeah.
does.
Exactly. All right, go for it.
You know what? I'm just gonna ride this wave since we're on it. This comes from user Brit Guru. My fiance is leaving me over a watch. Basically, as the title says, he found it in the couch and looked up the serial number, and I guess it was a $400 watch. Anywho, he says I've been clearly having a man over and I've been cheating. I most definitely haven't. I work full time and have a child under 2. There's no way I would put my energy into something that isn't beneficial to me or my daughter. I guess what I'm asking advice on is whether or not I do everything in my power to prove I don't have anything to do with it or let it be. Would that be giving up on my part or is this out of my control?
That's a weird one. Firstly, where the fuck did this watch come from?
Okay, let's roleplay this. You're
Tick,
at your house.
Tick, 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 tick.
No, you're not the watch.
Couch.
And imagine like you find a watch in your house. What do you think? Like, what's the first question you ask your partner?
Where'd this come from?
And she says, I don't know.
Then I'm like, okay. And I message the people who've been over at the house and see if they left the watch.
Ding, ding, ding. There it is. Like, if I found something that wasn't mine in my house, my first thought would be, I mean, like, if it happened in quarantine, I'd be confused as hell. You know what I mean? Like, I would automatically assume that someone that I had over to my house had lost it or left it.
Yeah.
Like, my first inclination wouldn't be that, like, someone was here and
that should be like when nothing adds up, no one is claiming the watch, nothing makes sense, and you're like really confused, then you kind of like, toy with the idea. Yeah, crosses your mind, and then, you kind of try and figure it out. Also, maybe the kid fucking stole it and brought it home. Kids do mad shit, right?
Well, it is 2 years old.
Right? Well, yeah.
Under 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unless his baby is a like criminal. Oh my god, is it like Boss Baby?
Yeah, it's crime baby, thief baby.
Is this a Boss Baby? Baby Geniuses?
Oh shit! Maybe you found the new Assassin's Creed.
No, yeah, you can't make this anal thing about babies.
You said it too. Oh god, you said it too many times today that now I can't say God damn it.
Assassin. Hell yeah.
Assassin.
People are gonna be like, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah. Assassin. Yeah, like there are so many more things to go through. Also, I wouldn't be like, wait a minute, before I make any assumptions, I gotta figure out how much this costs. Look it up and be like, yeah, $400, that's cheating money.
Like, yeah, like if it was like a Timex or like some shitty like Walmart watch, would you be like, oh, no way, she's cheating on me with this guy?
Or like, wait, this $40 watch? That seems like a Gauge style watch. Maybe Gauge would wear a $40 watch, That's the thing. Does it get worse or better if it's a $12 watch?
Like,
probably worse.
If I was at a friend's house and then I lost a $400 watch, you'd think you'd know.
That's the other thing. It's like
a watch is a pretty that's a you wear it every day habitual thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I used to wear
the next morning without realizing it's gone.
Yeah, like I used to wear stupid fucking like bead bracelets in college.
Yeah, you did.
If I didn't have those on, it literally felt like I was naked.
Keep going.
I was naked. That's all I wore in college.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, especially an expensive watch. I think any watch in general, you get like the cursory, like, oh, did I leave that there? So one of the two of you should presumably have had a friend be like, hey, see my watch? I don't.
Yeah.
This watch is confusing me. However,
it's a troubling thing.
Everything about this is confusing me because the money shouldn't necessarily matter. The fact that your first thing you do is look up the fucking digit. Although I guess it does make it like a little bit more suspicious that someone would like not come back for a watch that expensive. Like it does make it stranger that it's been unclaimed. But at the same time, maybe he like Maybe he cheated, and he's trying to like he's worried you saw it,
Oh,
so he's trying to get out in front of it.
maybe he's cheating with a man,
Oh yeah, I like it.
right?
It's a twist we all needed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's really no if she's telling the truth, which I will
Mhm.
assume she is,
I hope so.
then
You wouldn't lie to us, would you? Would you?
like what more else like what else could you do if you're like yeah, I'm not cheating
Yeah.
other than doing like a fingerprint fucking DNA swab
Oh
on
my
this
god,
thing
do
and
a DNA
tracking
swab.
down. I don't
Send it
think
into like 23andMe or whatever.
yeah.
Figure out who the fuck it is, or at least where in Europe they're from.
Yeah. What part of England they're from.
Yeah. No, like that's the thing. It's like I assume you've said, "Hey, yeah, I'm not cheating," or like I don't know how that got there. So like if you haven't done that, do it. If he wants to talk about it, sure. But if he's just accusing you and doesn't believe you, like fuck it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing you can really do to prove that you're innocent, right?
Yeah.
And if you had, I'm sure you would have done it. And if they're determined to not trust you, then that's not a good fucking relationship anyway.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's like he's already determined that he can't trust you. Like
Mhm.
he's made this decision. He's found one thing and it's like you're cheating on me. I don't trust you. You don't love me. You know what I mean? Like all these claims have been put on the table. It's like can you really stand on an altar as your fiance as you're getting married and be like I will love this person forever. I trust them completely. And it's like yeah, until you find another fucking piece of jewelry.
Which, if that happens again, though, like that's twice as suspicious. What if it's a
Yeah.
magic couch and like all it wants to do is make its owners rich by like providing jewelry, but they just always break up and it gets sold again?
Or what if it's a cursed couch
Oh, and it.
and it just keeps trying to ruin relationships? Because, like, obviously, if they break up, they're probably going to move.
Mhm.
Couch is going to go somewhere else, most likely.
Yeah,
And now it has a whole new relationship to ruin.
yeah, or a whole new family to try and make rich, but inevitably break up by accident. So sad. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if someone's that willing to throw you under the bus, like, fuck it. Better off without them. But do entertain the idea that your child is a master thief.
Please start leaving valuables around and see where they go.
Yeah. Oh my god, sting operation on your kid. Get a fake fancy watch and make sure you forge that 12-digit number so they know it's expensive. Because it runs in
Yeah,
the
they're
family.
going to.
That kid finds it, that's the first thing he fucking does too. And that's how you know.
You have to
Um,
make sure you take away his like little appraiser's glass.
mhm.
You gotta
Oh,
make
yeah.
get that out of there so he has to kind of like wing it.
Yes, then he doesn't exactly know what carat it is. I
Yeah,
like it.
change the Wi-Fi password so he can't Google it.
Maybe take a finger or two as well, so his like typing isn't there. So he's just gonna wait until his other friend, the evaluator baby, comes around. The baby fence, baby black market.
Man, their whole operation's all fucked up because of quarantine, man.
Oh yeah, that's
They
the
used to
thing.
meet at the park.
He had it stashed under the couch, and usually mom and dad never fucking know, right? They're dealing by the swings. He just slides into baby black market. He gets some fucking like fruit roll ups or some shit. You know, he gets home. He's hyped up on sugar. The parents don't know why. They think he's got ADD. And then fuck, man, he has to hide it all on the couch. Check the other couches. What else has this little fucker stolen?
Yeah. Check under his bed, his crib.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promise you that thing is like just packed. Jewels.
Oh yeah, you gotta get one of those like
rubies.
those ink bombs that they put in like bag, like bank
Yeah,
bag,
yeah.
and then just wait. And then when that baby comes in crying, just covered in blue paint, you just like, I fucking got you, nail you to the goddamn wall.
I got you, you stupid son of a bitch.
There's only one thief in this family, and it's me.
And it's you, you rascal.
It's you, you fucking asshole. It's a good family. We almost threw out the couch. This is by incorrect conjugation. Things I, 37-year-old female, have discovered now that my wife, 36-year-old female, and I are both working from home. She ends calls with her female boss with, "Love you." She isn't hiding it, hasn't commented on it either. This is weird, right?
Is that it?
That's it.
Didn't you say things?
A thing, I guess.
Oh man, I was hoping for a whole fucking laundry list.
There are
Dirty
some-
laundry.
There are some great ones I've seen online since this whole thing started where it's like, ugh, I realized my husband is one of those. Let's put a pin in it, shall we,
Yeah,
guys?
let's circle back to it.
Yeah, yeah. She has not. She's not hiding it, but hasn't commented on it. This is weird, right?
No,
No,
no, it's not.
not at all.
I frequently say I love you to the people I work with.
Mm-hmm.
And because like people, this is something I struggled with for a very long time. I used to think, and this is an honest to God truth, and like I was a teenager, so we're all fucking idiots then. But I used to think that like love was a finite resource where I couldn't say I love you if it wasn't like 100%. I mean it with all of my heart, because if I say it too much, it dwindles in uh worth, where
Mhm.
it's like it in actuality it's the complete opposite. The more you use it sincerely,
Yeah,
the more important it is.
yeah.
The more abundant the resource is.
100%. Like I literally, I was on a fucking Jackbox with like Ryan yesterday, and I was like, "Love you." Every time I fucking call you, like,
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
people.
The end of
It's
our
like you're.
Pathfinder
Oh
sessions
yeah,
are six men standing out in a hallway, hugging and telling each other they love each other.
yeah, which is awesome. Yeah,
But here's the thing. Here's the thing: is none of us are gay though. So
we all know.
none of us have a sexual attraction. Well, that's fair.
Well, yeah, like
Um,
I say it to girls I work with. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's, yeah, and that's my thing. It's like I've worked with one woman at my bar since I started there, so like 5 years,
mhm,
to the point where it's like I now like she's a very close friend that I care deeply for,
mhm.
and when we lock up together, I'm always like, have a good night, love you, get home safe.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, in work, you're in the fucking trenches together. It's like it's easy to make these close connections if you make them, they're often going to be quite close because like you spend a lot of time with these people, you know. And also, it's like she's not hiding it. If it was something bad, she wouldn't be walking around the fucking house being like, "Oh, love
Yeah,
you."
it's not like she's hiding a fucking watch in your couch.
Yeah, like then you got to get worried. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, take a look at your wife and be like, "Look, how many frogs does she have? Is it less than 3? You're probably good. If it's more than that, I don't know. Throw them out.
Yeah, I
Get
people
worried."
need to start understanding that, like, and this is something that like people have been asking for a very long time, is this sense of platonic love and the sense of platonic affection, where it's like a hug doesn't necessarily have to be a loaded thing. It could literally just be two people showing affection to each other in a completely safe, normal way.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like,
I
I would honestly be happier about this because it's like your spouse is able to be a open and like friendly and loving and like good, cool. Like they're a good person. They're like emotionally like mature and like it's a good thing.
Yeah, if anything, this probably means they're a really good partner. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To be this open and willing to share love. And it's like, again, if there's the line, you know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, oh well, I open mouth kiss all of my female
Mhm.
companions, because it's like, okay, well there's lines that can be crossed.
Of course. You
Um
can't just be like, no, I'm just like really emotionally mature. I just fuck everybody I want to.
yeah. Um but here's the thing. If your relationship has those parameters,
Well, that's
that's also
yeah.
okay.
Hey, if you're allowed, you're allowed, right? But
Yeah.
also it's like the fact that like it also shows she trusts you enough that like there are times where like, if I'm on a date or something and like I get a call off Dain, I'm like, love you. They give you like that side look, like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, so sometimes it's like, I'm sure there have been times I haven't said it because I've been around someone like I just started seeing or whatever. So it's like I'm sure, knows how this can sound and clearly doesn't care to do it around you because she trusts you and knows that you're not going to be weird about it, which is funny
Yeah.
because you're being weird about it.
You're being weird about it.
You're on fucking Reddit. Just
It's
being weird.
important it's important to know that you don't have the monopoly on your partner's love.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So like
Nor should you.
no, absolutely not. That's a wild, dangerous thing to do.
Mhm.
Um and completely unfair for both partners. You know what I mean? Like if I was in a relationship and I only loved my partner, that's a huge burden on them.
Mhm.
And vice versa, where it's like if I'm in a relationship and I'm expected to only love you,
Yeah.
that's also really unfair.
Yeah. And like, unless you're living a really grim life, then you're just gonna have to lie to your partner. You
Yeah.
know, because like I don't think it's easy to go through life and not love people.
Yeah, or I mean, like I think a lot of people do, and they hide it and repress it
Mhm.
because they're 100% concerned
Still feel
about
it though.
exactly what your, what the question asker is putting on the table. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't pursue uh, uh, relationships with people of the opposite, or the people that they're attracted to. So, like, if you're a heterosexual man like me, like a lot of men don't pursue relationships with women because they're worried that it's going to make their partner jealous, or they're
Mhm.
worried that it's going to look. So you have this sort of like, community, or this world where the only time that men and women are allowed to be friends is if they're actively trying to sleep with each other.
Mhm.
And that's what got us in this fucking mess in the first place.
Obviously, if they're doing some other weird shit, sure, but like I think look at the facts, right? One, people love other people than you. It's
Yeah.
just gonna happen. Two, a lot of people do this. Three, she's not hiding it. She's not being weird about it. Like clearly, there's nothing happening here. You just
Yeah,
gotta
if she
support it.
dipped out of the room at the end of all of her phone calls and
Mhm.
whispered like love you,
Yeah.
then like, okay, great, those are, warning signs.
Mhm.
But if she's sitting in the office with you and she's like, okay, love you, have a good one,
Yeah.
like that right there is a casual platonic love you.
You can bring it up. I'm sure. Again, if you're cool about it, but like,
Yeah.
don't make this a fight. Don't make this weird because like she works with this person. If you make it a thing, there's nothing they can do short of leaving their job. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be a fucking minefield for both of you.
Also, can I just say how lucky this person is to say it to their fucking boss? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
that's
to
the
be
way
in a
to do it,
job
right?
where you're comfortable enough with your boss to, like, say that you love them.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's a good fucking job.
Yeah,
If you get this
exactly.
person fired from their awesome job,
Yep.
come on,
Don't do it.
don't do it. We've talked about this before, so I feel like it's something we can breeze through. This comes from user Stardwag64. Is being smacked during sex safe for female self-esteem? Hi, so my girlfriend recently shared with me she likes being slapped during sex. We're both very much into it, but I'm worried that being degraded like this might be bad for her subconscious perception of herself. Am I right to be concerned about this? Or is it fine as long as she understands it's just helpful for us to get in the mood?
If she likes it, I doubt you have to worry too much about it. One, two, aftercare. Three, just just do it right. You'll be fine.
If you were like, no, only sluts like that, only whores want to be treated like that, I'm not doing that, is a way more toxic and way more damaging
Hmm.
response to it. If you're like, yeah, for sure, let's look up how to do it safely, let's figure out safe words, let's like set the parameters of how hard you like it, and what happens if I go too far.
Yeah, like if you
um
put the effort in to make sure it's a safe and enjoyable thing and you care about her safety, her emotional state, her pleasure, she's going to think she's going to be very reaffirmed in herself and in her relationship and in everything because you're giving a shit and you're being nice. Like
yeah,
that's going to be the opposite.
no one's gonna feel like they're worthless if you're going out of your way to show that you care.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you're putting in the work and being like, "Hey, I want to make sure that this is an enjoyable experience and safe, and that you're taken care of." Like all of those things are ways to show that you care about someone, and therefore the exact opposite of what you're worried about.
Yeah. So I think just,
And like,
make sure you set the parameters, like have some good like aftercare and like just make sure that like you do reaffirm them afterwards if you're worried about this, especially depending on what you guys say in the throes of what you're doing. And
mhm,
just, if you're careful about it, you should be fine.
yeah, absolutely. Just make sure you're safe, make sure it's consensual, and you're good. If everyone is on the same page, you're gonna be fine.
Hmm.
And it's like that with any kink. You know what I mean? Like any sort of degradation or BDSM dom sub sort of thing. If everyone's on the same page, then you treating their fetish with respect and courtesy, and them with respect, is only going to bolster their opinion of themselves, because
Hmm.
they're what I'm sure they've probably been judged for in the past is now being validated as normal.
Yeah. All right. That was a quick one.
That was a quick one, and now we're in perfect wrapping up time.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Hand me the
Uh,
scissors.
Oh,
I
I
got the
see.
tape. Make sure you fold
Thank you
those
very
lines.
much.
Fold those lines, Dane.
What? Who follows lines when they're
Fold,
rapping?
I said.
Oh, fold. I think it's
Yeah.
follow. It's like
Also, I'm
pre-measure.
terrible at rapping, so
I'm all right. What I do is my rapping strategy. Here it is, boys. It's fucking April, and we're talking about rapping presents.
well, hey, by the time we
Um,
get out of our
yeah.
apartments,
I start with my brother's gift because he doesn't give a shit how I rap it, and work up to my mom's gift
because you get slowly
so that
better.
I get used to it, and then my mom's gift looks good as hell. She doesn't again care either, but
Mm-hmm.
I care. I want to present the best possible gift to my mom.
So I'm the opposite, where I know it's not going to be great, so
Yeah, fuck your mom.
I relish the horribleness, and it becomes like oh, look how bad this one is. Like, oh, it's cute, or like it's quaint. It's nice.
Thank you very much for listening and joining us this week on our fine program. It's been a pleasure. We've had a blast. I hope you also have had a blast.
We love you. Yeah, I hope everyone's still doing well, still keeping on.
Everyone's staying safe, following rules. If you're protesting, fucking knock it off. Get back
Oh god,
inside.
yeah. If you're a protester, you listen to this, just like, what are you doing?
What are you
Come on, bud.
doing?
What are you do?
Please.
What are you doing? Just go back and get back inside. What are you doing?
TGI Fridays is going to be there when this is all done.
Yeah, there's Applebee's is still gonna be there, man.
Yeah.
Like for
your
real
hair,
though.
Your hair's gonna grow, but someone will cut it.
Also, guess what? No one's gonna see it if you don't leave your fucking house.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a thing people need to fucking stop.
Yeah. Sorry, I know we tried to avoid the unpleasantness, but this is
just
I
some
don't
book
know.
wild shit. What are you doing? What are you doing out there?
I watched a video of the protesters the other day, or this right before we started, and I was just I'm just so boggled by
Well, it's like
the
seeing an
rationale
electric
behind it.
fence and like a sign being like, don't touch this. And you're like, it's my right to touch that. And you go and touch it. It's like, cool, okay. So you shocked the fuck out of yourself. Good job. Like, apart from you're standing in water with like elderly people and you shock them too, and they die.
Yeah.
And then you go get your hair cut.
The troubling thing is like there's no satisfaction. Like usually when stupid people do stupid things, you're like, "Ha, gotcha." But like here, I don't want people to die. Like I don't want to be like, "Haha, you died because you're an idiot."
But
like
they're not even the ones that suffer usually. They'll just pass on to other people who'll die.
I know. It's a troubling time. So what I'm trying to say is let's all chill and respect each other, treat each other like we could, kill each other, and therefore just stay the fuck home. Please, guys, just stay home.
Yeah, stay home. Just the better you stay home, the sooner this will all be fucking done with.
Yes.
I personally want to go get wrecked on the patio with Dain when the weather turns, so please don't ruin that for me.
Yeah.
I want to have a boys' brunch day, and I haven't been able to do that, nor will I be able to unless you stay the fuck home.
I just want to get a big sweaty boy pile where we just hug forever.
Oh, man. 100%. Well, guys, we love you. Send us in questions if you got any.
Yes, if you'd like to reach out to us, we're at fbuddiespodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at FCK_buddies, on Facebook at FCK Buddies Podcast, and on the World Wide Web at fbuddiespodcast.com or plentyofbeef.ca.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Seas for their song, Paper Stars. Now, are you comfy?
I am. I'm pretty much always comfy now. Because I don't have to share leg room with you.
So this is a mystery. So that summer, Rebecca had an internship. I had a novel that she was sure I could write, and we had an apartment, albeit one that belonged to a friend of her father's, who had left a great deal of food behind, along with a post-it note exhorting us to enjoy it. On our first night in the place, we had vigorous and prolonged sex, in the course of which we shoved every appropriately sized vegetable in the kitchen inside herself, and also rubbed her, by then quite juicy vagina, on the arm of the sofa, against the standing lamp, and, in an impressive split, down the center of the glass coffee table in the living room, while I lay underneath and gazed up. She got herself off, finally, by rubbing her clit up and down the long turquoise spine of a coffee table book about Majorca. I say finally, but by then she wanted to put her pussy on each individual page of the book. I pulled her down to the carpet, both because at this point I was extremely aroused and because I was concerned about paper cuts. I pushed into her, and it felt the way truly great thrusting can, like the mucous membrane of the world is helping you break through itself into something new and less pretty. Come in the ice cube tray, she said. Huh?
The fuck's wrong with this woman? Also, this guy's like, man, you're not getting off yet? It's like, yeah, maybe just have sex with her. Maybe just stop letting her fucking snail trail around this goddamn house.
So it's written by a guy, I know that much, because it was actually, I saw this shared on Twitter, and there was a bunch of people being like, does this guy know anything about vaginas? Because, like, they're like, the thought of rubbing my clit off the rough back of, like, an old, dusty, like, turquoise fucking dictionary, like, ouch. And, like, ugh.
Or how about right down the middle in the split across a glass coffee table?
Girls don't
The
just
fuck is that?
smear
What does that even do?
They don't just smear the vaginas on everything. Just like, quick, put everything you can in here. Anything you can find. I don't give a fuck. Also, why would you want to put your vagina on every page in a book? Also, these are the worst.
How would you do that? What does that even mean?
I assume just like open the page, like, bloop, next page, next page. Like,
but that's...
Okay, well, the thing is, I don't know.
That hurt.
By her by then quite juicy vagina. He did specify that by that point it had gotten quite juicy.
I would have figured by the time she fucking Windexed the fucking coffee table.
The worst part is I can see it.
Yeah, I can too. And apparently he can because he's looking underneath it.
He's just under. Like, what are these people doing? Oh, man. Yeah, so there you go, guys.
Here is to wrap us up. I've got a Pornhub user comment, and I feel like this might be the author of that book. Kanada, I'm your dad. 420 says, "Why are the girls always naked?" My name is Dain Miller,
and I'm Niall Spain,
and we have been your fuck buddies.
Stay safe.